Hi guys, I'm here with yet another story from the Good Old Days magazine. Wow, my hair is really wild. I just put it up in a bun like I always do. Nothing special, just grabbed it, wad it up, and tie it up. You can tell by looking, I'm sure. um, this story is called Cabbage Night, and it is by Ginger K. Nelson. The new tradition had unexpected consequences. And here's the mischievous little girls. I'm just saying they're mischievous. I don't know how the story's going to go, but there's the girls at a Halloween party the night after the cabbage incident. Alright, let's begin. Halloween is a time for transforming ordinary pumpkins into jack-o'-lanterns with smiling faces, jeering faces, menacing faces. It's a time when begging is expected, although in a different fashion. For example, when I was growing up in the small town of Woodridge, New Jersey during the 1940s and 50s, our plea was anything for Halloween instead of today's trick-or-treat. Back then, households stocked sweet treats in gigantic portions that they never wanted to show your dentist. People prepared apples with coins inserted in the pulp, homemade cookies resembling witches or ghosts, sticky popcorn balls. I remember those when we were kids, getting them at trick-or-treat, and homemade fudge. Yesterday's parents didn't consider taking them to be x-rayed. But what about the night preceding it? For my friends and me, that was an opportunity to ensure we were ready for collecting all the loot. But back in the good old days of the 1930s and 40s, many people participated in a different ritual. I learned about it from my Aunt Butchie to me, as she scissored a ready-for-the-ragbag white sheet for my ghost costume. She spoke in a dreamy voice that indicated she was reminiscing. "Did you ever hear of Cabbage Night?" she asked. My spontaneous, "What is that?" prompted her to reply. When I was a girl, on the night before we begged for Halloween treats, we roamed our neighbors' hoods for play tricks on people. I could hardly believe that this shy, introverted, as good a person as I've ever known woman would join her pals in frightening the very people that they would ask to share their bounty of delicacies the following night. It was exciting, although scary, but I didn't want to be called a fraidy cat, so I went along with them, she said. That sounded more like Butchie and explained her participation. Inspired by her revelation, I gathered my friends and suggested we introduce Cabbage Night to our town. To my surprise, even though none of them had heard of this practice, everyone agreed to give it a try, getting permission to spend an additional evening prowling our suburban streets with the main obstacle. But again, to our surprise, all our parents agreed. Coming up with ideas was the next and easiest part. The most insidious one was to write threatening notes such as "Beware of the ghost" or "I'm coming to get you," accompanied by childish drawings of a spook or a cloaked man. Let's place them on the car windshields on the boulevard, Joanne suggested. That was our main streets, and many people would be at the corner A and P buying bags of candy for the next evening. What a great plan! What a daring bunch we were! Kathy proposed slamming a person's back with a sock filled with chalk dust, or he or he walked by. How mean! I argued that a fast runner could make a safe getaway and tell on us. Nevertheless, we decided it was another trick for our arsenal. Priscilla knew where to buy a compound that, when twisted on a glass surface, made a shattering sound. When she produced some of these wonders at our next planning meeting, we all had to try one out. Although we bought some to add to our growing list of Cabbage Night practical jokes, it carried unexpected consequences. Rubbing these squares on windows brought the occupants dishing to the doors when they heard sounds suggestive of expensive repairs. We chose home with nearby bushes in which we hid to watch reactions, knowing the owners would find their windows intact. Only a small amount of rubbing wiped the residue away. That justified the prank in our minds. In one instance, however, an irate father caught and chastised us, routing us from behind his foliage, shouting that his daughter was very ill, and he intended to call the police to report us for breaking his windows. Our explanation of why we hadn't damaged them brought him relief. He said he wouldn't report us, but added that we were wrong to frighten people in that way. We apologized and promised never to frighten him like that again. However, that didn't end our relationship with that family. The following night, we appeared on their doorstep with our half-bulging pillowcases. We thought our costumes provided good disguises, but he wasn't fooled. So we used the opportunity to tell our apologies. We inquired about his daughter's condition and were comforted when we learned the crisis had passed and that she was on the mend. The bunch of us also decided to go caroling the week before Christmas. It was a given that we serenaded the same family. On this occasion, the fully recovered girl listened with enthusiasm to our songs. Our new friends invited us in for cocoa and Christmas cookies. Our renewal of this tradition had a happy ending, but one that taught us that sometimes what seems to be bad may cause a different reaction. Needless to say, we deleted that bit of mischief from our Cabbage Night repertoire the following season. So they learned their lesson in a great way. I love that. I hope you guys enjoyed that story. Cabbage Night by Ginger K. Nelson. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.